Welcome to Cincinnati Soccer Talk, the very first live edition of the podcast. Glad you're with us. I'm Nick Seuberling. I'm here with Bill Wolf, Brad Weigel, and Brian Weigel. We have a lot to get to this week here on the podcast. Of course, you know, we talk all things FC Cincinnati, and who better to have on that show, or this show, none other than President and GM of the club, Jeff Birding. We'll get to him here in just a moment. But a lot to get to. It's going to be a busy offseason for FC Cincinnati, and we're going to continue that and continue to cover it here on our website and our podcast, Cincinnati Soccer Talk. As always, you can get in touch with us. CincySoccerTalk@spnt.tv is the email address. You can always follow us on Twitter as well at Cincy Soccer Talk. Let's welcome in Brian Weigel. Brian, how are you?
Doing great, man. Just, kind of enjoyed a weekend away from things, but got to play some small-sided soccer with some extended family this weekend, so it was a lot of fun, even with a broken left toe.
Well, we're glad you're playing injured with us tonight. No question about it. Let's hang out here and get a moment with Bill Wolf. Bill, how have you been?
I'm doing well. Enjoying my son's season. He's still going with Wanted Hills, so watching a lot of his games and just enjoying soccer in whatever form it comes.
And last but not least, the other Weigel twin, Brad Weigel. Brad, how are you?
Not too bad. I'm kind of sad that we had our first weekend without soccer this past Saturday, but really looking forward to the off season, as well as waiting for that U.S. soccer email to come so I can find out if I get to go to Columbus to watch the U.S. beat Mexico again.
Well, we're glad you're here with us, Brad. No question about that, too. So if you're watching us live here at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com, you can get in touch with us via phone. We've got a phone line, 513-399-KICK. That's 513-399-5425. If you want to get in touch with us and have your thoughts heard here on the program, we certainly welcome that. And our first guest here on our very first episode going live is the one and only Jeff Birding. Jeff, welcome to Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Glad to have you back.
Thanks, guys. Glad to be with you.
Last time we had you on, it was, that was a week after you won your first trophy down in the preseason down in Florida. A lot has changed since then, hasn't it?
It was a pretty remarkable year for Cincinnati. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was a big year. Obviously, when you and I had talked, we were kind of wondering what the attendance was going to be like for that first game, and gosh, all season long, it just kept getting better and better. That seemed to be really, I know a big focus is going to be the talk about how the team played on the field, but really the headlines were just grabbed all the time about attendance.
Well, Cincinnati is a big league sports town, and we certainly believe that, which is why we launched FC Cincinnati, passion for soccer, a city on the rise, matched up with a sport on the rise in the U.S., but we felt that if we brought professional soccer at the highest level, managed and owned at a high level, that the community would respond, because we're a big league sports town, and respond, the community did.
So now, Jeff, we've moved on. We had a great playoff appearance packing 30,000 into Nippert. What's kind of the next what's the upcoming months look like for you?
Well, right now, John Harks and I met with all the players one-on-one to sort of talk about the year, the player experience, the goals for the off-season, goals for the 2017 season. We're now doing performance reviews with all the staff in the organization, including on the technical side. And we'll continue that process with a goal on how we improve everything we do as an organization, so that next year we have the opportunity to win the USL championship. Certainly you can't win the league championship if you're not representing the Eastern Conference in the final game, and we need to play better and get better results against the top teams in the East, and that's the measuring stick. And so everything we do in the front office, on the technical side, be it coaching, players, our medical and training staff, all of it is geared towards how do we have better results against the best teams and give ourselves a chance to win a league championship. That's why we're in this. So that's certainly the focus. And whether that be improve our training facilities, or continuing to look at how we improve our youth program, because we want to be about developing players. There's plenty of tremendous players in this region playing for some of the clubs, going off to high-level college players, and we want to make sure that FC Cincinnati is a part of their development and ultimately maybe a part of their long-term plans.
Now, you mentioned a little bit about the development. I know that you guys have discussed some partnerships with the local academies going forward. Can you dig into how that kind of got started and how you foresee that working out?
Sure. Well, I have kids teenagers that play soccer, have played at a high level. I'm very familiar with the club scene that we have here, the select scene. Many tremendous clubs, good coaches. And so this year we work to be a supporting agent to all the clubs through our Give Back program, through offering our players as available to run clinics or to coach teams. And we're going to continue to build on that. Obviously, it's not in our interest to be competing with the youth clubs. There's so many good ones out there. But if we can offer a higher level that for some of the very best players whose goals may not stop with playing college soccer. Their goals may be, and they may be legitimate goals, to play professionally. Certainly having an opportunity to develop a homegrown environment in partnership with the youth clubs is certainly on our agenda. And I've been talking to youth club presidents throughout the last year, just to have them understand that what we're looking to develop is in partnership.
That sounds great. It'll be really interesting to see how that develops, Jeff. Looking at other parts of what Cincinnati offers as far as soccer, thinking about supporters groups a little bit. I know you've been very supportive of those groups and hanging out with them and going out to pub crawls and such with away games and things like that. But I know the plan is to keep it fairly organic and let those groups develop on their own. But they're in the same process you are now, where they're looking for the next steps moving forward into the next year. So without maybe trying to influence too much, do you have any suggestions or any comments to the supporters groups or things you'd like to see them when they start talking about planning for next year?
Well, certainly among the most important things that happened this year was the organic development of supporters groups who harnessed all their passion for soccer and their interest in supporting our city and this franchise into creating just an unbelievable environment at Nippert Stadium. It was really key to our success, because while having credibility among passionate soccer fans was the foundation, ultimately what happened drawing attendance was everyone that came to a game had a great time. I think the quality of our play was strong. The competition level was good, so they were good competitive games. But Nippert as a venue offers a lot of attractive elements. But at the end of the day, the supporters groups created an environment at Nippert that's really, I think, had been unseen by sports fans in this market. Certainly I have 19 years at the Bengals, Red season ticket holder, college basketball season ticket holder. So I'm pretty familiar with the sports scene, but we knew that if we empowered the supporters groups and allowed them to create an environment at Nippert that was, authentically soccer, that it would be a beacon for fans, because that environment is not the same as what you get at other sporting events. And that's certainly what happened. And again, just a very integral part of our success. I think to take it to the next level, some of what we're doing is, we're talking with other clubs. We're talking with clubs in other parts of the world. We're trying to benchmark ourselves against people and organizations, whether it be here in the U.S. or internationally, who do things the right way, who do things at a level that we aspire for here in Cincinnati. And, you know, we're going to borrow some ideas, but then we're going to make them distinctly Cincinnati. You know, how do we take the lessons that we see elsewhere, but make them work for our experience here in Cincinnati? And so I think that I'm confident that the supporter groups are going to be looking to do those sorts of things, looking to recruit more people to be involved. And I'll be real interested on how FC Cincinnati can support those efforts. And we have regular communication, which is, I think, been very helpful. And if both as a sounding board for FC Cincinnati, we're asking supporters, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? If we did this, do you think that goes over well? And so that sort of focus group feedback from supporters has been critical. And I think by the same token, they've had ideas and asked, hey, is this something that FC Cincinnati can help us with? And that's what makes us a club. As I said the other night at Christian Moorline, when we had our supporter salute, you know, what makes soccer pretty unique is I think in other sports, you sort of think of the team and then you think of fans. And, you know, the team is on, you know, one level and then the fans are at a different level. And I truly believe what we've experienced this year and our success is rooted in, we don't have the team and then fans, we have a club. And the supporters are every bit as much of the club as owners and staff and players and our youth partners. We're all one club. And I think that kind of environment is what makes it so special for people.
We're hanging out with President and GM Jeff Birding here at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. We got a listener question. This is from Brian Nair, Jeff, and he says, shout out from the West Coast. I am addicted to all things FCC, especially during this offseason. I check the website and Reddit threads every day for something new. When can we expect the next big update regarding the club? Obviously, we know there's a big event coming up here in November with Commissioner of MLS Don Garber coming to Cincinnati. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, and thanks for all the support from far away. Obviously, that's going to be a big moment in our club's history. Commissioner of MLS Don Garber coming to Cincinnati. Carl Linder and I made clear from the start that we want to be a team that plays at the highest level, and we're thrilled to be in the USL, but it's an aspirational league. Many teams that are currently in MLS started in the USL, and you know, we have aspirations because Cincinnati's a big league sports town, a major league sports town. So with that, we're thrilled that we're going to have the opportunity to welcome Don Garber to Cincinnati and to show off our city. We're a city on the rise. I think we've proven ourselves as a world-class soccer market in 2016, and we're going to continue to build and grow, and he'll have an opportunity to see that. The biggest thing for his visit will be that we'll have a public town hall, a supporter town hall. It'll be at 4:00 and at a site to be determined. We're vetting sites right now, but I can share with you it'll be somewhere pretty centrally located to make it easy for people to get to. And we're calling on everyone to hold it on their schedule, and hopefully we get a big number. I know in Sacramento they had a block party, and the block party had over 1,000 people there. So we're looking for a venue that can help us attract similar numbers to show that Cincinnati is right there at the top of the list.
That's awesome. Now this is Brian here. You keep saying, the USL is an aspirational league, and FC Cincinnati's on the rise. One of the things that several MLS clubs do, and you kind of commented on this in your Telegraph article, is that you be traveling to Europe to maybe discuss some friendly opportunities with some teams, but also maybe taking FC Cincinnati on the road. Does that entail possibly preseason abroad or different types of events throughout the year that they might travel over to England?
It could. I'm headed to England at the end of the month, at the end of October, and into the first week in November. We're putting together the itinerary now. We have someone over in London who's helping us, who we've worked with previously, Certainly one of the stops is going to be with Crystal Palace, who we developed, I think, a pretty special partnership with. I hope everyone saw the video that they released on social, wishing us good luck in the playoffs. Obviously, just they're a first-class organization, and we're looking forward to seeing what else we can do together. I guess the easy answer to your question is we're open to a lot of different opportunities, provided that they fit right with us, both from a business standpoint and a soccer. We've had a lot of clubs reach out to us prior to Crystal Palace, and we were thrilled that we were able to work out our Crystal Palace friendly this year. And then certainly after the success and a lot of the media attention that resulted from just Cincinnati showcasing itself on a world stage, we've had a number of other clubs reach out to us talking about potential friendlies, including some that they wanted to play this past year. But we felt the Palace friendly was a great foundation for the first year, but we wanted to turn our attention to the USL competition and our goal of winning a trophy. I think as we go into 2017, there could be opportunities that we're looking to consider that could include international and preseason, as well as it could include more than one friendly during the 2017 season. It just, we'll have to see.
Well, now we're on to 2017. How will that set up compared to this past season? And I know you can't comment on specific players, but when do you guys expect to maybe start seeing player moves or acquisitions, and then possibly maybe a preseason camp?
Sure. Well, I want to start with this. We have a special group of players this year. They will always be a part of the FC Cincinnati family because of what they helped us create this year. And I told the players in our final meeting, I've been blessed to be a part of professional sports for over 20 years, and lots of special moments. But I can't say that it's frequent that you have a special year. We're literally the whole year, and whether the ups and the downs, it really truly is special. And our players were a part of that, and will always be a part of FC Cincinnati as a result. To answer your question specifically, some of our players can have opportunities to maybe play at another level. Some may get more time at another level. And so John Harks and I are going through that process right now. We've already had initial conversations, and the league year ends here in a couple weeks as we approach the end of October. So we have a little bit of time. We certainly have plenty of our players under contract for 2017. But there's some guys that are not, and we're going through a process. But certainly I can say from my experience with the Bengals, when you get Mike Zimmer, is a great coach, and he has a chance to go be an NFL head coach, or Hugh Jackson, you support them when they have an opportunity to climb the ladder in their chosen profession. And I've told our guys, if we have players looking to climb the ladder in their profession as a professional soccer player, if it's a good opportunity for them, we're gonna work to be supportive. Having said that, we want our guys, the core of our guys, we expect to bring them back. We had a good, exciting team. We played high quality soccer. We had a good record. But everyone, including me, starting with me, we all have to be better next year. And that's the nature of the business. And if we weren't committed to that, you fans, our supporters, would be disappointed. You want to know that we're committed to getting better in everything we do, starting with me and John and everything else that we do, because we didn't win the trophy this year. That's what that has to be the goal number one every year.
Now, this is more of a question about my familiarity or lack of familiarity with USL contracts. Do players typically work off a 1-year deal that comes up every year for renewal, or in the USL, do you sign players to 2, 3, 4-year contracts?
I can't speak to other teams. I can only speak to our team that we have guys under multi-year agreements. When we signed them prior to our very first year, we knew that we wanted them to be foundational players. I think there's a lot to be said when you build a team and there's a level of continuity. The fans get to know the players. Soccer gives us an interesting, unique opportunity. Our entire team, save I think one guy who had a traveling commitment, was at the Moorline Lager House last Thursday night. That's pretty special. So you get to know the guys. They spend time with the fans. They sign the autographs after the game. You see them at the grocery store. You might see them at the pub on a Saturday morning watching EPL out of season. And so part of our goal was to sign not only good soccer players, but high character guys who knew that they were signing up to be a part of building a franchise here in Cincinnati and everything that involved. And so, no, we wanted guys on multi-year agreements, and again, a good core of our guys are in that position.
Hi, Jeff. This is Bill again. So I know that FCC made some significant capital expenditures this year, and it sounds like there's plans to make significant capital expenditures again for 2017. We've heard lots of rumors and news and such related to things like training facilities, expanding the field, maybe even an update to the UC scoreboard. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that as far as plans. Sure. And then also timing. I mean, obviously with the field expansion, is there any concern about needing to push the field back or the season back a little bit at the beginning of the season or anything?
No, so let's deal with that one first. Our partnership with the University of Cincinnati enables us to invest in widening the field to FIFA standards of 75 yards wide. That'll be also a safety upgrade for any events that are on the field down there, because there'll be more clearance from the edge of the field, be it football or soccer, to the brick wall. And so you won't have a situation where guys are literally crashing into the brick wall. That process will begin. The planning for it is well underway, but the actual work will begin as soon as the UC football season is over, and it'll be completed in time for the start of the FC Cincinnati season, the beginning part of April of 2017. So we feel confident it'll be, I think, for the fans, it'll add, we think, a level of excitement. Again, we're technically a very good team. We struggled at times with teams sitting in and sort of bunkering in the defensive side of the field and then just looking to counter us directly. And so this will force them to defend a bigger field. More should create more space, more opportunities, and ultimately more scoring. And certainly puts us in a position with MLS that should an opportunity be presented, our stadium is already the appropriate size. And for international friendlies, it probably opens up an ability to draw additional teams in where the field width is one of the things that will be important to them. So for all those reasons, we're excited to get that underway. That'll be on at our cost as a part of our partnership with UC. The second thing you asked about was sticking at UC scoreboards. And I'll just say scoreboards and other enhancements at Nippert are things that will be driven by the UC athletic department. We've indicated that we're welcome to have the conversation when they're ready. I don't think there's anything there imminent in advance of the beginning of the 2017 season. But we have an open door. We have a great partnership, and if UC Athletics comes and thinks there's additional opportunities readily available to us to improve Nippert, we have a good partnership, and we're going to have that conversation. But I don't see at this moment, answering your question, I don't see new scoreboards in the beginning of April 2017. The last thing you asked about was training facilities. Our team trained this year almost exclusively on turf down at Nippert, mostly on the game field, to some degree at Gettler. And we're looking to develop a grass training site. We've had a number of counties and municipalities throughout the tri-state approach us with significant interest in developing those kinds of partnerships. And we feel pretty confident we'll have an opportunity to make some progress there in advance of the 2017 season, whether or not that's, April 1 or May 1. But I'm confident that our team's going to be able to train on grass and have appropriate facilities. At that point, Bill, all I would say is it will be in a position to continue to grow and develop our facilities as we do things like, work to develop youth programs and, potentially down the road, youth academies. Obviously, you need the facilities to do that. An MLS team, certainly we've looked at some of the MLS training facilities, and I'm going to spend some time in Europe looking at training facilities there for their youth programs. And we're looking to learn some things and build those into our Cincinnati plans long term.
Jeff, I want to ask you about the game day experience, in particular off the field. I'm going back to week 1, all the way back in the early spring when it was freezing cold out. A lot of the big storylines that night were the long lines and the issues with the merchandise and the long lines there. And I just want to ask you, from the first week there at the first home game at Nippert to the last, what do you feel that you and your staff did and got better at as the season progressed?
Well, you hit on if you want to talk about just, the highest level of improvement, I think certainly the merchandise. We had merchandise stands strategically located around the stadium, and we were using, we couldn't plug into the UC Wi-Fi, so we used these Verizon hotspots, and they didn't work because when you had so many people and the crowds were just so extraordinary that there was just too many people with smartphones trying to get the Wi-Fi, and it clogged up the system, and it made transaction times be, 6-7 minutes, I think it was, per, and we saw what happened. By the end of the year, we had hardwired the merchandise stands and really made it where I think things operated pretty smoothly. I will share with you that that's probably the greatest improvement that we made, but we already have plans underway for enhancements in year 2, because I'm sure there's listeners who say, well, there were still lines at the playoff game, and there were. I think what we have in mind for 2017 will minimize really any material wait times. I think Aramark, who does the concessions at UC, got better as the season went. Obviously, they, notwithstanding some conversations, didn't have a lot of experience with soccer. Soccer crowds are different than basketball and football crowds. There's not lots of timeouts where the crowd is coming throughout the half, throughout the match. In soccer, you have the pregame, you have the halftime, and then that's pretty much it. And so in-seat vendors walking up and down the aisle selling popcorn, cotton candy, water, soda, beer, hot dogs, even with hot boxes, portable hot boxes. All those things are an important part of a soccer experience to minimize the amount of time people are in line for food, because obviously there's only going to be a couple goals a game. You don't want to miss the goal or the dramatic play that was made. That got better. That needs to continue to get better. Obviously things like the, PA announcer, music, sound. I think that as we went, we got more comfortable playing at Nippert, using the equipment at Nippert. There's always going to be room for improvement there. If you wanted to talk about programming, the pregame, the halftime show, I think people like the Dunkin' Donut. We'd love to maintain a partnership with Dunkin' Donuts where the little kids get to shoot on the donut. We'll see if when we meet with all the sponsors one-on-one at the here over the next few weeks, whether or not they want to come back. But you know what I'm getting at. There's things like that I think were unique, and we'll look to continue to build upon.
It's a great experience, and I'll tell you what. If you get a custom named and numbered jersey machine at the stadium, I will give you all my money in my bank account.
Again, those are things that are under consideration. I appreciate the suggestion.
Well, we'll get you out of here on this, Jeff. I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Every time I saw you at an FCC match at Dipper Stadium, you were always a man on a mission, walking fast somewhere, either putting out fires like you were in that first week or whatever. You always had something going on a game day experience. If you weren't GM of this team, what is the one thing of game day you wish you could experience as a fan?
Well, I don't know. I did the march. John Cramley, mayor of Cincinnati, John and I marched in together from the Brass Tap. I go to Mecklenburg Gardens after the game frequently and have a beer after the game. I'd probably do those on a regular basis, like an every game basis instead of on occasion. But, that's part of the fun of it is being able to have a drink ahead of time and then have one after the game. I will say this, maybe this is the answer to your question. I don't drink during the game. So I'm drinking my water, I'm watching the game because I'm working. And then when the game is over, I go down to the locker room, maybe say a few words to the guys, thank the guys for their effort. And then afterwards, I'll go up and have a beer. So to answer your question is, I'd probably have a beer during the game if I wasn't working. How's that?
That is perfect. Awesome. I certainly can't blame you for that. And I think I speak for everybody here tonight on the show, Jeff. We congratulate you on just a tremendous opening season for FC Cincinnati. We thank you for bringing soccer to our town. We have talked before about how you could feel that there was a sense of momentum and a sense of a cravingness for soccer in this city. So we really appreciate all that you did for Cincinnati and for just bringing us soccer. We really do appreciate you and appreciate you taking time to join us here on Cincinnati Soccer Talk.
Thank you. It's what makes it rewarding. We're all in this together. That's how life is, and sports is no different. And I want to say thank you to Cincinnati Soccer Talk. You guys were, a welcome addition to everything we're about, and the way you supported us and offered content each week. You posted on Facebook and on Twitter, and I was reading your stuff every single week. And I certainly appreciate everything that you did to help us build our club in this community. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the kind words. We appreciate it. We're glad to be a partner in crime here with you for soccer in Cincinnati.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Have a good one. Thanks, Jeff.
See you soon.
That's Jeff Birding from FC Cincinnati joining us here on Cincinnati Soccer Talk. A lot to digest there, and really, really appreciate him taking the time to join us here live on our first live edition of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. So if you had to just digest it all there, Brad, what are your thoughts on what Jeff had to say?
I'm really excited to see how this team is going to grow and build for 2017. And I really like one of the points he made about they really appreciate this first team. This is our first ever team. There's never going to be another one. But him and Coach Harks aren't afraid to make changes that's going to make us even better. That may get rid of some of our fan favorites. And I think they're really going to strive to bring some more hardware to Cincinnati in the coming years.
How about you, Brad? Or I'm sorry, go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say, I think it was also very pointed and interesting that he talked about, some of these players are on multi-year contracts, that they saw them early on as core members of this team, not just one-year players, but core members. And that, consistency was important for the team, the quality of play, but also just for the fan base, because fans invest emotionally into these players, and the players invest emotionally into the city. And so it sounds like there is a vision that this is beyond just, signing people and churning them through some sort of a mill, that this is something that's going to have some consistency. So it'll be very interesting to see how many of those players do come back.
Yeah, it sounds like my guess would be a pretty solid core of those guys, right, Brian? I mean, I think we're all in agreement there.
Well, I hope so. A lot of great guys, but I'm a little nervous now because I just told Jeff Birding I would give him all my money if we had a custom jersey machine. So I can't tell my wife that. So we gotta be careful there, y'all.
Yeah, not only is it in the podcast, it's going to be on YouTube as well.
I know, but hey, it's all in good fun, right?
Absolutely.
Who's the first player you'd get? Brian Weigel, number 10. Come on. Oh.
Nice.
Get out of here. I have an ego that could fill that jersey up quite nicely.
Oh.
Humble.
Not number 9, a goal-scoring machine? Or you want to be a playmaker?
I like playmaking, even though I'm just bad. So it's all right, though. I had a good time. No, honestly, I think we are so blessed to have a great leader of our organization in Jeff Birding. And you know what? I think we're going to be on the right path. And the thing that I took away, not necessarily from this interview, but from another interview he said is, you ain't seen nothing yet. So I know this man. He's done great things in our city. He's taken a wonderful club that was nothing 12 months ago, and look at it is now. So I completely believe that he's going to win that championship next year and do some wonderful things.
I agree with you 100%. Expectation-wise, I never expected it to get like it did at the end of the year. Obviously, that first week when they had 14,000 there for the home opener, it was kind of an eye-opener. Like, is this really happening? And we doubled that and then some for that playoff game. What a tremendous year. I know we didn't win the trophy. I know everybody's bummed about that, but like we said last week during the podcast, I'm not even upset because it's just the beginning. And that's what's even more cool about this. So speaking of just the beginning, this is just the beginning of the future of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. We're doing this show live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock now. And we've got a phone line. If you want to get in touch with us, please give us a call. Our good pal Boston is waiting to take your call. 513-399-KICK. That's 513-399-KICK. We'll be live for here for just a couple more minutes if you want to chime in and have your thoughts. Let's talk about if you want to chime in and let us know what your favorite part of the season was. We'd love to hear from you. Again, that number 513-399-KICK. All right. So how about you? Your favorite part of the season, Brad?
Ooh. I think the favorite moment that I voted on was the Crystal Palace game, even though I was not there. So that's kind of rough. But, I think that the playoff game really sticks out of my memory. 30,000 people, that's the biggest crowd I got to see all year. But it was just the lead up. We had family coming down to the game, family coming from out of town. Everybody heard about FC Cincinnati, and it was just a great culmination, even though the result wasn't what we wanted.
What was your favorite moment, Brian? I saw you get up to get something.
You see this right here? That's what it is. No, my favorite moment, even though it was a playoff loss, got to catch my hometown heroes jersey at the final game, so that was wonderful. But really, I think every time that I went to Mecklenburg Gardens or the Brass Tap and hung out with a bunch of my brand new friends, and I can call them that. I mean, there's great people I've met through this whole experience this first year, and I think all those great moments. So it's been a fun ride.
Bill, your favorite moment?
It's the same one that I voted on when we talked about the moment of the year, and that was just beating Louisville. So it's nothing better than that.
My favorite moment was I didn't get down as much as I had hoped to with my soccer schedule, clearly. But my favorite moment was the march from Mecklenburg to the match there at Nippert with Dienestadt, getting to hang out in the Bailey with you, Bill, watching you drum away. Got to wave a flag. That was a lot of fun. I mean, the result that night wasn't great because they drew against Charleston, but still, it was an exciting night, and that was probably my favorite moment of the season, being there for that. All right. I can't believe I'm going to do this. Hi, Mom.
Hello.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Hello, Nick. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How about you, Mother?
Number one
fine.
fan.
I am calling. You know what? I really am. I'm not just of you guys, too. I mean, you got to be included in that. I am thrilled with this past season. And you were asking what was my favorite favorite part of the season?
I think I know what your
And
favorite
it
part of the
was the
season
fact-
was.
Which was?
You used my
If
season
you think
tickets
you know
all
me
year.
so well. Well, that was probably the best part of the season. But my very favorite was the fact of being a part of such a soccer community in Cincinnati, to see it come together and be so alive and so so friendly. And you know, to see families there with their kids, to see grandparents there. I mean, it was just a joy to be a part of that. I don't think I felt that way in baseball, and I know I've never felt that way in football. So this was a joy to be a part of that. So, and you guys were a big part of that, getting me excited. And thank you, Nick, for the tickets.
Oh, no problem. And thank you for calling in and supporting our show, Mom.
All right. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Mama
Mom.
Sue. She's the best.
That is great. She never called into my Bengals show. What does that tell you?
9 years too, huh?
Yes. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate the call.
Did you see
You're
we had a couple chat
Bye.
comments on favorite moments as well?
Well, what were they, Bill?
Let's see. Ken, and I'm not going to get his last name right, so I'll just call him Ken H. Said his favorite moment was going into work, and FCC was water cooler talk. Soccer in Cincy to stay.
Amen.
And then AJ, and again, my eyes aren't good enough to figure out the last name, but AJO.
AJ Olding.
Olding? Okay, thank you. He's like, the screen's too far away from me. My favorite moment was getting personally booed in Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
he obviously made the road trip and made a friend there.
Very cool.
I'll tell you a moment that just popped into my mind that actually I think has to rank up there with my favorite moments of this season was the preseason match at Xavier. You know, that was the first time really all the supporters got to go. We met at a bar down by Xavier. We did a huge march and we cheered loudly. You know, it was just so cool because we were figuring it out together. And that's just one of the things that I hope FC Cincinnati is able to do next year, whether it be with Xavier or UC or, even NKU if you want to do a rotation. That I just thought that was a neat memory.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Cody in Nashville. Cody, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for calling. You're calling from Nashville, though.
Yeah, I actually just moved here about a week ago from
cool.
Cincy. So
Very cool. So what's on your mind tonight?
So I was actually the one, Brian was the one that told me to call this in about I made a post on Reddit the other day about kind of the fans boasting over attendance. I know that's it's an exciting thing, and I get on Reddit just about every day. I follow MLS threads, the FC threads, just kind of all those stuff. But I've seen a lot kind of cross-posted over to the MLS thread, trying to get people's attention. And one was just posted 2 days ago that said we had the largest average attendance in Ohio. This was from a tweet. And the comments are just ridiculous. They're all either really, really sarcastic or they're really, really negative. It's just one of those things that, this is an incredible thing, but I mean, I think people get it. That's kind of where I'm at. I can read you some of the comments from this thread if you want. But
we're a family-friendly show.
That's what I called in for. Yep.
Well, no,
I mean, there's nothing too bad.
No, Cody, I'm. This is Brian here. Thank you, man, for calling in. I appreciate it because I think it is a great topic.
Yep.
The one thing that we've been able to hang our hat on this whole year has been the attendance, been the explosion, and I think there's been so many negative aspects thrown our way with we play in a college football stadium. We're an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Columbus. So I think this is just kind of our way of hashing out. But I completely agree with you. I think we need to change that narrative now. 100%. If now we need
agree.
to, yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
I have a friend that's he lives in Columbus. He's been a Crew fan his entire life, and I've kind of been trying to talk to him about it. And he's like, "Yeah, that's cool," but he's come up with 1.5 million different reasons. I mean, he actually works for the Crew now. He's come up with 1.5 million different reasons why we won't make it to the MLS. He thinks it's all talk. I've seen kind of threads that popped up. I know Nashville is actually getting a US. It's either a USL or NASL. They're getting one of the two teams here. And I know their goal is very similar to ours, is kind of wade in the water for a second and then just kind of jump into the MLS. And one of the comments that I think kind of snowballed my thought process here is, oh, we're almost a joke of the MLS, is that when they post that they were getting a team and look to go to the MLS, they're just like, oh, this is just another FC Cincinnati. Great, like, good luck to you, kind of thing. So one of my comments was, I think that people think that we're in over our heads. We're an aspiring film actor moving out to LA to pursue their acting career, or somebody who thinks they can sing country music moving down to Nashville. I think it's people kind of think of us as that it's not going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we move on to another caller here, and again, thank you very much for calling in. The one thing that we need to do here with FC Cincinnati is still stay in the narrative somehow. And so I know some of these ways can be a little bit negative, and we need to try to make these posts as positive as we can about the club as possible. But staying in the narrative is the important part, because once you get out of that, look at Detroit, look at some like San Diego, look at Austin. I think their chances maybe a little less for Detroit, but once you start getting out of this talk, it's really tough to get your way back in. So, but yeah, man, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Cody, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I see you're calling from a 419 number. How is that possible?
I am from Northern Ohio. Moved down to Cincinnati for college, and then moved to Nashville from there. So.
Cool. What part of Northern Ohio? Because I'm up here in Perrysburg.
Oh, I'm from Lima.
Oh, okay. I was just there this past weekend eating some Skyline.
Yep. Oh, that's great. It's great.
Good stuff.
The northernmost Skyline, I'm pretty sure they have. So
yeah, that's right.
Stop by while you can.
I'll be there again shortly. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too. Let's go to we've got let's see here. Let's go to is this AJ in Cleveland? Hi, you're on Cincinnati Soccer Talk.
Yeah, hey. And yeah, like you just said, I'm in Cleveland, and I can promise you there are further north Skyline, because there is one about 5 minutes from me right now.
Awesome. What's on your mind tonight, AJ?
Yeah. So I asked in the comment thread if you guys wanted me, if anyone wanted me to call in and talk about getting booed in Pittsburgh, and someone responded yes. So this actually wasn't so I'll tell that story, and then I got a question for you guys. So this actually wasn't the game on the 24th, the Saturday, the second one. I actually went to the one on the 14th. Left work a little early because it's actually only about a 2-hour trip from here. So got there like just before kickoff and all that. And I brought with me signs to be like purposefully antagonistic. And the one that I brought, it said in big block letters, and it was in blue and orange. It said "Who Day," and underneath of it in smaller black letters, it said "Beat Pittsburgh at every kind of football." And
nice.
And I held that up in front of their main section, like going into the halftime, and got heckled. And then right before the start of the second half, I walked over to their support group, ran in front of their supporters group holding that up. Got like nothing like super hateful, but just so much thrown back at me. It wasn't funny. And as I walked away to go watch I don't know if you guys watched the live stream of that one, but they've got or any of you guys went to Pittsburgh at all, but they've got this section on the far side of the field that's away from the stands and away from the players. There's no stands. There's just like a sidewalk that you can walk on in a standing room. And I just stood over there, and for about the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half, I was just getting yelled at by the supporters group.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your question, AJ?
Yeah, no, so the question is, obviously at this level, it's very difficult to look at specific personnel, but I was wondering what type of roles or what type of pieces that you guys see as things that you would like to see added to the team. Whether like in my mind, I'm like, I would like to see like a throw-in specialist or anyone who's got their heads up for, those set pieces to keep getting, through.
Right. Oh, that's a good question. I'll chime in first and I'll let these guys chime in. We appreciate the call, AJ. I'd like to see another goal-scoring threat opposite of Sean Okoli. You take away Okoli, and I don't know where the goals came from this year. I mean, we had some guys that chimed in here and there. Wiedemann got hot early on, and then we didn't see a whole lot of him down the stretch. Outside of Okoli, I just want to know where the goals are going to come from. I don't know if Casey Townsend's the answer for that, but I think they've got to go out there and find more goals if they can.
And I think Jeff mentioned in his interview that they're not going to hold people up. If this is an aspirational league and an aspirational team, and they want to develop players, and it's part of the whole process. And I think that we're going to need to replace Sean Okoli because honestly, I think he's going to get opportunities, especially with the rapid expansion in MLS, adding 2 more teams, in Atlanta and then I believe Minnesota. So, he may get a shot somewhere in MLS, and I think we're going to need to bring in goal scorers. And also, I think USL still changing, still adapting, and I think you're seeing more and more teams that with new teams and teams that are being purchased with owners that have more and more money, and I think you're going to see more players brought in. I don't know about like a Joe Cole from was he play for the Rowdies?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you could see more and more things like that where they're names, but they also have miles on those tires still, and they're being able to contribute because playing in front of 20,000 fans at home it's amazing, and that's a huge way to attract talent.
Yeah, I think for me, the one thing that I think we're struggling with right now is some speed on the wings. We have some players with some technical skills and they can get the ball down the wings and make some crosses, but I don't see a player who really is darting back behind the defense and getting those opportunities, basically just beating people, just pure out beating them. And we've struggled with teams, in the season with that kind of skill where speed really does rule. And I think I'd like to see us pick up somebody who just gives a completely different type of trouble to the defenses. We have a big guy like Okoli. Maybe he moves on and we get, Luke Spencer back in the lineup, or maybe we find somebody else with some bodies, some hold up capabilities. But I think we also need that troublesome speedster.
Well, I guess wrap it up, kind of echo Bill's sentiments there. We just need somebody that can beat people on the ball, because look what happened in the playoff game. We got the balls out to the wings, and sometimes Jimmy cut it in, but he got, pretty much stopped there. So we need somebody that can, beat somebody on the wing, or maybe dive in like that and beat people with the ball. So, but you never know. These guys playing with each other for a second year, I think you'll see some improvements there.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything that these guys said, AJ. We appreciate your call, man. Don't be a stranger.
All right. Yep. All right. Thanks.
I'm so used to ending when I used to do my Bengals show. I'm so used to ending each call with a hooday. We've got to come up with a chant like that for FC Cincinnati. We've got to come up with something like that. You know what I mean? So if you're listening to the podcast or if you're listening to us live, we'd love your feedback and send them in. Cincy Soccer Talk at SPNT.TV. We need another hooday that's relative to us, to soccer in this town. So.
Foosball.
Oh, no. We're going to go there?
Yes, we are. I love that.
Go for it.
How did nobody bring up right back, by the way? We were just talking to AJ.
We know that's your favorite position.
Actually, left back.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
No. I've been nice to Tyler recently in the past half of the season. So, Pat McMahon now, on the other hand.
Wow.
No, I'm joking. He's a good guy, and his, long locks of awesome hair. I'm losing mine.
The McMahon bun.
McMahon bun. So, yeah. I don't know.
Foosball?
Yeah, I think
I can't get behind it. I don't like it.
I like the spelling and just different. It's German.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. We want to be close to our German roots here in the town of Cincinnati, but I don't know.
Yeah. Have we talked about the potential USL goal of the year voting yet?
We have not.
Well, I know. Is it 5 or 6 nominees, and we have 4 of them with Sean Nicoli, Wiedemann, Stevenson, and who else? But yeah, McLaughlin, right? So who are we going to choose here on this?
I think you got to go with the Coley, right?
I mean, it was a pretty awesome
first goal, Nippert.
Yeah.
Scissor kick, top Sports Center top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hot.
But Tomaselli's goal was sick too. So is that even up for the voting?
Tomaselli had a goal?
No, I'm talking about the playoff goal. I guess that's not.
No,
really
that was Stevenson.
That's what I'm. Yeah, never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I meant Stevenson.
It's okay.
Is that even in the discussion?
Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up.
Have to be. It's a Sports Center 10 too.
Well,
right?
but it wasn't a goal of the month.
Yeah.
I mean,
because April was a Coley, May was Wiedemann. Cummings was July.
Yeah.
Stevenson was June.
And so there's 2 FC Montreal fans. So it's either one of 4 FC Cincinnati fans or one of 2 FC Montreal. So I think we'll have more votes in day 1 than they will the fans that have gone to their games all year. So.
All right. Well,
no, not funny. But that's funny.
I don't know. I still go with a Coley. That's just my take.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we got to stick with it. We don't need to get outmaneuvered, but I go with the Coley.
See, the smart twin is on my side.
Mother.
We're live, family show, dude.
Yeah, of course.
He was just asking to call back.
Yeah.
Right. Let's welcome in Boston. He's calling. He's been our call screener tonight. Thank you, Boston, for doing that. You want to chime in on your goal of the year?
Sure, no problem. So really it's just down to 2 teams. So it's going to be a matter of FC Cincinnati versus FC Montreal. They have the other 2 goals. We have 4. They have 2. And I think they won August and September once the USL figured out they should probably exclude us from voting. And but yeah, I mean, I brought this up on a Reddit thread today about, yes, I think we all have our own preferences. Personally, I'm a big fan of Stevenson's because of the whole combo. It took several players. I don't know if it's 4, 5, 6, maybe even kicks to get to that goal. It was just a thing of beauty, a team effort. And as much as I like that, I feel like FC Cincinnati fans are going to need to unite. You're going to have Louisville fans, Charleston fans, Richmond fans, NASL fans. Even Ted might try to vote against us here. So, we're going to have to show a united front. And as much as we like some of these other goals, I think Coley's first ever scissor kick is going to be the fan favorite in general. It seems to be the fan favorite on Reddit. And I think we had 8 or 9 posts already voting for that. So I will be throwing my vote in the united front, even though it may not be my personal favorite.
So which one was your personal favorite?
Oh, Eric Stevenson.
Okay.
By far.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, that's probably the goal of the year. Just the strike was amazing. We're okay. So we are talking about the playoff goal, right? Yeah. I mean,
I think he was actually talking about the other one. So.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the team build-up one. We actually lost the game, I believe.
My favorite.
But
all right.
Yeah, Bill's favorite.
Okay.
But the one he won. Ultimately, though, I feel like FC Cincinnati fans would be better off voting for Sean Nicoli's first ever kick. Just to, we're going to have to try to tip the scales. Everybody's going to be tipping them against us for Montreal. So
you got to stuff that ballot box. It's not the first time that's happened in Cincinnati. Well, we appreciate your thoughts there, Boston. We appreciate you're screening our calls tonight. Good man, buddy.
Oh, it was fun.
All right.
One more thing before you leave. If anybody out there is listening, please use hashtag AOTixWait or wait whatever it is, because we are still waiting, and it's 9:01 on Tuesday. Sorry, had to throw that out there.
Okay. That sounds like a topic for another podcast. All right. Well, again, we've had a busy night here at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. We're going to wrap things up. But final thoughts from Bill Wolf. Bill, you there?
William. It's
Yes,
okay.
Bill. Oh, there he is.
No, you blipped out on me, Nick. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was just saying we would like your final thoughts.
Oh, final thoughts are I would like to say thanks to everyone who called in and everyone who jumped onto Chatwing and threw out their comments and their thanks and their ideas and their favorite moments. So it was great having you guys all on the show, and looking forward to doing this again next week.
Absolutely. How about you, Brad? Final thoughts?
Well, we have an interesting matchup this weekend in the USL Conference Finals. We have the Red Bulls 2 versus Louisville City. And I am unsure who to root for in this because, the local and the fan side of me wants Louisville City to win, but yet they're also kind of like our Pittsburgh, aka the Bengals, and so then it leads me to want to root for the Red Bulls. So I think I'm a little conflicted, but overall I think it's going to be a great game. And I think I'm rooting for Louisville because I don't want to see the USL Finals in Red Bull Arena in front of 500 fans.
You called me the stupid twin, Nick?
I didn't say the word stupid. I just said he was the smart one. I didn't say you were not smart.
Yeah, Brad, you're suspended from this podcast. I actually talked to him at lunch today saying if Louisville ends up hosting the final, I want to get a bus together of FC Cincinnati fans and go down there and buy jerseys and T-shirts of the opposite team and root for the other team. So, Bradley, be quiet. Love you.
You're erroneous.
That's
just too cold.
That can be my final thought. I don't
Okay.
That was just so bad on Brad's behalf that I have to at least bring this podcast some respectability because he just threw our credentials out the window.
Oh, that's funny.
Golly.
Just a reminder, you can rate and review the show on iTunes, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/iTunes. And even though we are still doing this show live each and every week now, if you miss a live show, you can always catch our shows on demand, iTunes, Google Play. Brad, they can see that. All right. So, again, we appreciate everybody who called in, everybody who tuned in. We are going to do the show live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. So you want to check us out, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/live each and every week. Like as we mentioned before, we've got the chat room where people are chiming in. We've got the phone line that people can call in. So really looking forward to where this show progresses moving forward. Again, our special thanks to Jeff Birding, President and GM of FC Cincinnati, for joining us this week. Cincinnati Soccer Talk is an SPNT production. For more information about our other podcasts, log on to spnt.tv. And as always, check out our articles and content over at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. So for Bill Wolf, Brad Weigel, and Brian Weigel, I'm Subes, reminding you to watch your tackles, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Foosball.